This is going to make me seem like a massive loser, but my main hobby is going to luxury stores. Not buy anything there, I just like going into them and sort of treating them like museums. Like when we travel to go to Fashion Week, or when we travel to go to different projects in like Antwerp or Switzerland or wherever we're going for like special projects, my main thing is I just want to go to luxury stores. This person is essentially asking what are the best stores in the world. They're a store environment manager and strategist. I find that the best stores in the world tend to be ones that look like they're being used for some other purpose, but that also have unbelievable product in it that I can't see anywhere else in the world. Off the top of my head, my favorite store in the world is L'Enclair in Paris. There's L'Enclair.
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 L'Enclair. There are 3 of them. The really good one is Harold. But like L'Enclair has like a huge, massive, gargantuan, so big that I'm not even sure how it got in there. Huge dining table with like place settings for a ton of people. You can just tell that the space is being used for multiple purposes. But then when you walk in, it really is like a cabinet of curiosities. They're completely stocked with Carol Christian Pole, Deep Tea Barth, Jeffrey B. Small, Layer Zero. It's all just like really, really crazy stuff. Shouts out, by the way, to this question asker who is on the Patreon. For the time being, we're pretty much just going to be accepting questions from Patreon members who literally make this channel run. And I didn't realize that this was going to be a whole episode just answering this one question, but I've been to a lot of really cool stores. I just kind of want to talk about it for a while. Join the Patreon so that you can ask questions, but that's literally like the smallest perk that you get. You get to join the private Discord. You get a shit ton of exclusive videos that are nowhere on YouTube. You have like a massive 3-hour archive tour of the largest helmet laying archive in the world. We have interviews with so many design. We have probably over a dozen hours of interviews with designers at this point. We have wardrobe tour episodes where I'm going through everything in my closet and kind of talking about why I like it, where I got it, what I like about it. I don't have a massive wardrobe. It's just that I spend a lot of time per garment. There's so much crazy stuff. Join the Patreon. Join it right now. Shifting our focus now to Antwerp, Belgium, which has a surprisingly good retail scene for how small that city is. Additionally, and one of the best stores that I've ever encountered in the whole world, like in my top 5, is Atelier Solar Shop, which is it's the retail arm of the Jan Vanessa company, which a bunch of people keep asking me. They're like, I cannot understand what you're saying when you say this man's name. This is what it's spelled like, Jan Vanessa. Atelier Solar Shop looks like just a communal, awesome space that's used for a lot of different stuff, but through which they also sell beautiful, unbelievably high quality clothes. The Andemulemeister flagship store is pretty crazy. It is crazy if you think about it. The Andemulemeister flagship store is pretty crazy. The stairwell is super beautiful. The whole store is very well considered, and they have an indoor garden, which I absolutely love. The Dries Van Noten flagship store is also it's exactly what you would think the Dries Van Noten flagship store looks like. It essentially looks like my dad's house. I think it actually might have the same floorboards. There's other stores that are just sort of like, oh, this space is extremely cool. Like the Enfant Riche d'Epernay store in Paris is really cool because it's just mega narrow. It's a 2-story store. There's like an upstairs and a downstairs, but it's like so thin in there and everything is made of marble. And so Henry Alexander Levy, the guy that created the brand, actually said of that store, I feel like I'm gonna like hurt myself in there by accident. It's a very like cold, narrow, but beautiful space. It's very befitting of the brand. And then there's things like the Balenciaga store in Barcelona. That's by far and away, that is the best Balenciaga store. It beats out all of the Paris locations. But the Barcelona one has that carpet like in the Blue show, the UN Blue carpet. And the way that just the building that they bought is set up is that when you go down the stairs and you're looking at the carpet from above, it's like the carpet and the contrast with the concrete of the stairs and stuff. It looks like you're in a David Lynch movie and it makes you feel kind of scared to go down the stairs. Another store that's just unbelievable is the Celine store in Miami. The Celine store there was created by Phoebe Philo, and you can instantly tell it is not the work of Eddie Slimane when you walk in. It's very organically futuristic. It's one of the best designed stores that I've ever been into as far as just like the walls and the floors are concerned. Speaking of the Miami Design District, Loewe used to have this unbelievable store concept where they took a full granary, like the whole fucking granary, they took it apart, flew it to Miami, and reassembled it in the store. So when you were walking around, you were walking in between the pillars of this massive historic granary that's owned by the Kingdom of Spain. My favorite parts of Loewe are the parts where I can just like picture Jonathan Anderson hitting a blunt and being like, what if we took the whole granary and like fucking just moved it? That man is a genius. I love him. My beautiful wife has family that lives in Dubai, and we visited them on the way back from our honeymoon. And of course, when we were there, we had to go to the Mall of Dubai, which is essentially set up to be luxury fashion Disneyland. And that mall fulfilled that promise. It is gargantuan. The Bottega Veneta store there is unbelievable. I mean, Bottega Veneta, it's pretty hard to go wrong with any location that they have in the world because the product is so unbelievable. But the Bottega Veneta store there, just like the furniture, the layout, everything was just, it was crazy. It's 3 stories. It's a 3-story Bottega Veneta store. Also, if we're talking about the Mall of Dubai, closet case in the Mall of Dubai is incredible. That's where my wife bought me my honeymoon present, which was this shirt. The stock at closet case is crazy. It's nuts. It's just like Leclerc, where they just have really unbelievable brands and just items where you're looking at it and you're like, wow, I might never see this article of clothing ever again for the rest of my life. The Prada store, the Prada Epicenter store in Soho that has the fucking skate ramp in it. It's not actually a skate ramp. It's actually intended for meetings. I don't know if we can find a picture of this, but apparently you can like set it up so that it's like seating and then a presentation stage and stuff. But I mean, just looking at it, it looks like a skate ramp. Speaking of Soho, the Rick Owens store in Soho is unbelievable. Super duper high tall ceilings, which in Soho, because you're so used to being in these mega cramped tiny spaces and stuff and everything being too close together, and if you're 6'2", you're constantly knocking things over and bumping your head because everything is so tight. When you walk into the Rick Owens store, it is transformative. The staff there is also really, really sweet. Everybody that works there is really nice. Best overall store, like if you're in Tokyo, if you're in New York, if you're in London and you can only go to one store, your friends don't want to go shopping all day, just go to Dover Street Market. That is the easiest answer. It has the highest concentration of crazy clothes by a massive variety of designers. The interior of all of those stores are absolutely crazy. They're beautiful on the inside. The one in New York is 7 stories tall, and it's just like a huge mall of only fascinating clothes. Okay, so if we're still in London and we're switching over, we gotta talk about Blue Mountain School. This is one of those stores that's a lot like Leclerc in Paris, where it's just like, how does this exist? This is so fantastic. And I just want to tell you the story about Daniela and I going into that store. So we are walking across London and we're like, wow, this is so much fun. All of our work here for this project is done. We can just like have fun. And we're going to different stores and Daniela twists her ankle. Later I found out that she was actually not fine and that her ankle had swollen up a whole bunch. But she said that she was fine and got up and continued walking like normal. And we went into this Blue Mountain School place. So during all of this, just imagine Daniela being more and more like, I'm fine. Yeah. Oh, that jacket is so cool. Yeah. I'm fine. It's cool. Where do you want to go for lunch?
No, but also I was really trying to walk it off. Because I was like, no, I can't be a bitch. Like, I rolled my ankle. It's no big deal. I was just trying to walk it off. That's what everyone says, right? If you
walk it off, but not if you're really hurt, baby girl. If you're really hurt, I want to like go back to the Airbnb and take care of you. My tough girl. I hate that. All that we were told going into Blue Mountain School was you have to go there. It's the best store in the world. You have to go. And so we just go to the address that it says on Google and we knock on the door. The door is locked. I was like, why is it locked? I can see people inside there. Hey guys. Okay, so for the sake of this video, I have still not looked up what Blue Mountain School actually is as a company. It is not a retail clothing store. That might be part of what they are. That is not what describes Blue Mountain School. Okay, so someone comes to the door, unlocks it, does not like swing it wide. He just cracks it open and goes, can I help you? And I was like, yeah, we're here to check out Blue Mountain School. Is this the right address? Yeah, do you have an appointment? I was like, I don't have an appointment. I didn't know that I needed an appointment. Just someone recommended this store and I wanted to come check it out. And he wasn't being rude, by the way. I think he was just mostly confused. But I was also confused. So he went to his desk and picked up the phone and said, I'm gonna try to find somebody to help you. You can feel free to go like look around upstairs. And I was like, cool. I expected that that's where the clothes were. And I was like, okay, well, no rush on someone helping us because we didn't really need help ultimately. But we went up the stairs and as we're walking, I was like, oh, we're in the wrong place, even though he had just told us we were at Blue Mountain School. Because I go up into this room and there is a series of large clay pots on display everywhere. And I'm walking around and I'm like, okay, these are pretty cool pots. These are not coats, though. Pots are not coats. At least most of the time they're not. So I was confused about that, and then we went up one more floor, and I could see through a little like side window thing across the stairs that there was a kitchen that was full of chefs that were cooking things, and I was like, oh, there must be also a restaurant that rents this space. And we went up a little bit further to the next floor, and there are 2 tables. It is a restaurant, but there were just 2 tables sitting up there. And I was like, that's a lot of chefs for 2 tables. What is this place? Where am I? And then somebody came and got me and was like, hey, I can help you out now for the close. And I was like, oh, cool. Is this actually Blue Mountain School? And a second employee said, yeah, this is Blue Mountain School. Did you not? What? And then we went down into the basement of Blue Mountain School, where I saw some of the craziest fucking clothes I have ever seen in my whole life. So mostly this is stuff like Jeffrey B. Small. There are a lot of pieces in there by Jeffrey B. Small, of which only one exists. The coolest part of this place, though, was that they had these shelves that have the crank on them, so you can like move the shelf over, and that's like how you see the different sections. So like every time he would show me a different stuff, I'm like, oh, well, I really like John Alexander Skelton and Jeffrey B. Small. He was like, oh, sure, let me just... And then he grabs this giant ladder and like swings it in there, goes up to the top shelf and like retrieves it and like moves down and hands it to me and is like, do you want to put it on? And I'm like, I'm nervous now. I'm so nervous. My hands are shaking. But yeah, Blue Mountain School, by far one of the coolest stores in the entire world. Absolutely. Unbelievable. The point of this is that it's like, wow, I get to have tactile experiences in here. I get to feel textiles and materials and look at stuff that really, like, I might never get the opportunity to touch this ever again. Like, have you ever just held vicuña before? Like raw, unprocessed vicuña, just a clump of it. If you close your eyes and hold out your hand and someone drops a clump that's like the size of 4 baseballs, just drops that into your hand. If your eyes are closed, you won't know when the vicuña touches your hands. It's that lightweight. Vicuña feels crazy. It feels crazy. Literally, if I look it up on Wikipedia right now, hang on. The vicuña is one of 2 wild South American... No. Is it gone? Well, it doesn't say it anymore, but 2 months ago when I looked up vicuña on Wikipedia, it said, vicuña, also commonly referred to as the fiber of God. Those are all the craziest stores that I have ever been to. Keep in mind that I have not done any store going in Italy. I haven't done any of it in Japan. Not really any in LA, though. I mean, are there actually any? Seriously. I'm not trying to be like New York versus LA guy, maybe a little bit, but like, are there actually... Is Rodeo Drive, is it just big, or are the stores like actually cool? Like when you go in there, it's like, wow, this is sick. Because if it's just like Gucci belt, Emporium, and warehouse, then I don't really have a whole lot of interest in going. Anyway, if there's any stores that I missed, please add them in the comments. I want to check out more places. Like I said, this is like my biggest hobby, which again, I still kind of just like feel bad about. Like I feel like maybe I should get a cooler hobby. Thank you so much for joining us. I love you so much. Bye.